Do the ordinary things exceptionally well. That is a Zen quote, and my friends, the ordinary things for us are reviewing these markets on a daily basis, accurately tracking stock movement, making our predictions, and following the charts. It is that simple and it's that complicated. To grasp the simplicity of it, it is simply that we have to predict price movement. And price is going to do one of two, possibly three things, but really two. It's going to either go up or it's going to go down. Doesn't that seem like idiot simple? Couldn't you just guess that each and every day? Well, no, it's not that simple. Why? Because you have billions of inputs. You have millions of people in the marketplace. You have all sorts of things affecting price. But what is our linchpin and our key to what we do? It's two things. It's the charts and it's the way that we manage our risk. How do we manage our risk? That is by using our ATR, our average true range, to help us set our profit and loss bands. When we see a weekly vertical crossover, that is where the weekly chart goes from green to red or red to green. We have the visual cues from the volume peaking or troughing, and then we have the rotation over in the other direction. Now, when price changes, does it always give us those clues? No, sometimes it is hidden from us. We can't actually tell what's going on. Now, my friends, there are literally thousands and thousands of stocks, ETFs, all sorts of things to trade. So when the stock, a particular stock, the 5 that we track for you every day, 5 ETFs, when they don't give us the signal, then we don't execute that trade. When they do give us the signal, that is when we pull the trigger. Now again, there's signals given every day on hundreds or thousands of different stocks or ETFs. And again, if you have the proper signal, you pull the trigger, you execute, you limit your loss, of course, by using the average true range, which again is a measure of volatility, gives you what we think is the best possibility of capturing a profit there. If the trade goes against you and you hit one-time ATR for a loss, then you take that loss and you pull your trade. But when you do hit the proper profit, then you sell half the trade and let the rest of it ride until the move is finished or you have sufficient profit based upon the parameters you have set. It is that simple. And again, we've got lots of good training. Stay with us. Sign up at chartingwealth.com. Every day you'll get a special training from us. You put all those together. You practice with us. You follow what we talk about on a daily basis. Set up your practice trades and do it. And over time, you will understand. Don't attempt to garner everything at once. This is something that I plan on doing the rest of my life. I've been bringing this show to you. This year will be 10 years we have been doing this, and I appreciate all the thanks that I've received since almost day one from people who have followed us, have watched how we have modified our methods as the market has changed. Enough talk from me. I'm sorry. I do like talking about all this, but I don't want to waste your time. I know you want to see what's up with these charts. I just want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to stick with it because you can do it. I'm your biggest fan. Let's jump into these charts. Stocks are up, bonds, Bitcoin, and gold are down. What do we see up with the S&P 500? And I'm sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather. But as you know, but for when I had COVID, I come to you each and every day. And I think I only missed one day on that. But what do we see going on with the S&P? It is up 0.69%. We look at the volume here. Not a lot of volume to have ended a Wednesday. We're 3/5 of the way through the week. And unless we have a lot more volume, we might not even reach average volume. I've been telling you that as the market has continued to tick up slowly, it seems to be ticking up more and more slowly. Now we look at where we are on the 2-day chart that finished drawing today. It's sitting right there on that chartreuse colored, that is our ceiling. We can see on the weekly chart, we've had the wick on top. Looks like it's just barely pierced it. But again, the candle has not. We can see on the half day how it pushed up to it in the morning, above it in the afternoon. So I've told you we're in an election year. This market may continue to try to tick up until we get through the election. Then depending on who wins, all bets are off. It may not even matter who wins. All bets may be off. It may be a long, cold winter. But again, as we continue to watch in this crazy world, we can see that that market is continuing to hold, even without a lot of volume. We can see not a lot of volume at all, well below half on this from the average. That's what the black line is on the 2-day chart. Not even up to average volume in the afternoon with the climb. And again, not a big climb, 0.69%. That is where we are on the S&P. What about the NASDAQ 100? It's pushing up through where it had topped out before, not the high, which is over here at, let's see, the high, 502.81. The market was trying to hold it, it looked like, at the prior high back on the week beginning the 19th of August, but it is trying to push through that right now. We can see on the 2-day that it just a little bit of the candle has pushed through. Half day, it actually went above yesterday morning, Tuesday morning. It has continued to stroke up. And now it's above that weekly trend line. So we will keep an eye on things. But look, volume is light here on the NASDAQ 100, also on the 2-day and the weekly. So we will continue to keep an eye on stocks. What about 20-year U.S. government bonds? Down again, of course. We talked with you about going short when things rotated over. Back on the 23rd, we told you how to do that in your practice trade. What was it? TBF, Tango Bravo Foxtrot. That is the single short for the 20-year U.S. government bond, TLT ETF. And of course, it's been stroking up as TLT has been going down. And of course, it is a beautiful chart. Sometimes people say, well, Tom, why are we not trading off that chart? I do it just for simplicity's sake. It's confusing enough for new people that come and they see us talking about trading in something that's going down. It doesn't seem to make sense. I do mention all the time we use inverse funds when we can, particularly on bonds and the two stock indexes we use. Gold does not have one. It does have one. It's GDX, but DGZ, Delta Golf Zulu. The problem with DGZ is that it is not liquid. Now, we do have an inverse fund, of course, for Bitcoin that we traded a while back, and that was a beautiful trade. But let's stick with, for just a minute, where we are on 20-year U.S. government bonds. Continuing to move down. We may make average volume this week. Again, we did not make it on this latest 2-day. Well, I'm sorry. Why am I saying it's not Thursday yet? I'm a day ahead. We're about halfway there. So we may make average on the 2-day. I don't know why I was thinking the 2-day had closed yet. Please forgive me for that. We saw it was down in the morning, a little further down in the afternoon with decent volume. So we will keep our eye on things. We're probably going to get up, I'm guessing, to average volume this week, which is a good indicator, hopefully, of continued down movement. Now, of course, if you jumped into this trade, you will have gone ahead and, of course, set your one-time ATR using your long position actually on TBF, because that is what you were buying, and you will be following that for your sell points. Now, let's look at gold. Gold pulling back again today. 2 days, actually more than that. 4 days of down movement, but really started moving down strong on Tuesday. down again today, but hitting around the same bottom here, down 0.54%. We have a doji forming here. Now, this is what I'm hoping, my friends. We have, of course, an interim high back on the week beginning the 23rd of September. Last week could be considered a dead week. Let's see, what was the high? It was 247.37, yeah, 246.98. If we end up getting more down movement and average volume, that could be, well, that would be a weekly vertical crossover going down. We would like to see a red spinning top. That's typically the best sign to see, telling us that gold is backing off and rotating over. If indeed that's happening, we would go short gold. How do you go short gold? If you don't have an inverse fund that's liquid, well, we buy puts in our practice trades. Remember, we're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. We're not giving market advice, but we would be looking to execute put practice trades. Do you know how to trade options? Well, if you become a Patreon member, you get a 3-part series, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. First thing we send you, and I think it's the best training online that you could get in your first exposure to options and how to trade them. So we want you to practice trade those things with us. Keep that in mind if you'd like to support us here at our work at the channel. First thing you get. Okay, that's where we are in gold. We are hoping for a red spinning top with average volume or above by the end of the week. 2 more days. We'll see what happens. What about Bitcoin? Down for the day, 2.03%. What does that mean for us? Well, we have a pretty flat trend line. That trend line's not doing a damn thing for us, really. When you have a nice trend line, like say, I don't know, this kind of trend line, that's better than this kind of pretty much flat trend line. That doesn't do a whole lot for you. Excuse me. But as we see, this first day of this latest 2-day candle, not a lot of volume. We see it is moving down. We had a little green trying to move up. That looks like it has died on the vine. Maybe Bitcoin's running out of energy. It is similar to what we've seen before. We saw Bitcoin, of course, well, after we saw Bitcoin peak all the way back on March 11, what did it do? It dropped down, tried to move up, failed, tried to move up, failed, tried to move up, failed. Tried to move up, failed, and now is trying to move up again. Is it going to fail again? It might. And what is this overall trend doing? Well, it's overall trending down. So we will keep an eye on it, see if indeed it does roll over, if we can find anything that might help us execute an inverse trade as we did back here successfully. This is where we did our inverse trade. And we did well. I actually did a real money trade because it's my money and I decided what I wanted to do with it. And it was a very nice trade for me. So again, that hasn't set up yet. So not telling you whether or not to engage in a practice trade on the downside here, but we will keep a close eye on it. We see 2 days of strong down movement on the half-day chart. And again, like we said, the 2-day is down right now on Wednesday. We'll see how it finishes up on Thursday. My friends, thank you so much for being with us. I love doing this for you every day. I hope you love it. If you have questions, problems, concerns, we always like to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.